Hello and welcome. My name is Rochelle Ward and I'm from the Export Council of Australia. I'll be discussing the Export Award application questions and how best to answer them. So thanks for joining us. This webinar will only take about 20 minutes, so it's not too long. It's important to note that any questions that you may have can be directed to your state representative. At the end of this session, I'll provide those details. So let's get started. Okay, for those of you that are new to the program, I want to talk about the process itself and how that works. Okay, great. So it's a two-tiered process. So this program runs simultaneously across every state and territory in Australia. You'll see we have 13 industry categories for each state and territory, and winners of those state and territory industry categories will then go on to compete at a national level. So only those that win an industry category can progress to the Australian Export Awards, and that'll be held in December this year. You only complete one application, and if you are successful, that one application is used for both state and national awards. As you can see, they're the 13 state categories that we have there. List of the categories. Winning one of these awards would automatically enter your company into the national awards, as mentioned before. So when you're selecting the categories, consider what category you want to be publicly associated with. A company, you can enter as many categories as you like, although please read through the criteria to make sure that you're eligible. For example, we have an industry there, or category there, sorry. It's for Small Business Award, although the criteria reads for outstanding international business, international success by a business with total annual sales not exceeding $5 million. So that's domestic and international sales. So what happens is each year I need to go through and make sure the applicants are eligible in this category, and more often than not, many applicants just aren't recognised in this category even though they've applied for it. So many are exempt and miss out on being considered. Okay, award categories. So here, exportawards.gov.au/apply. If you click on that, you will see, and click on your state map where you want to be. It'll give you all the categories available and all the information about the 2018 Export Awards, which is there. Please note that in each state, we also have state-based awards. So in Queensland, we have Defence, Innovation and Women in Business. Again, you'll just need to go in and click on the map to find out any extra awards that are on in your state or territory. Those extra awards do not continue on to the nationals. It's only the industry categories that go through. Okay, overview. As you can see, we've got 5 different sections here. We've got no points for the executive summary. So what I need you to do, it's really important, is read each of the questions and read all the requirements, even if you have to tick them off when you've addressed them. I can assure you it's really obvious to the judges when an applicant hasn't read the whole question, and it can really lead to missing out on points. The judges have a really strict criteria. So what happens is, due to the question, they look at your results and they have to add points to what you've answered. So if you don't answer one of the questions properly, they can't align you the points. So winning or being a finalist or missing out altogether is often the difference between 1 or 2 points. So every point is really important. Judges only have your written application to go on, so you've really got to capture their attention and answer the questions accordingly. So common for past winners, they address all the criteria and they do it well. And it's important to cover all your achievements and don't underestimate yourself, but we'll talk about that a little bit further. Okay, executive summary. As you've seen earlier, there's no points allocated for the executive summary, but it's probably one of the most important parts of your application. So this is your introduction to the judges. So it's really important that you capture their attention early. Be sure to explain who you are and what you do. The judges, there's a good chance they're not going to know your company. So it's like you're introducing your company for the first time. When you're listing all your achievements there, think about the last 12 months. So what's happened in the last financial year? Include any growth stats is good, number of staff is good. What this does is you're painting a picture for the judges of your company, and it gets them a bit excited about what they're about to read. So bear in mind also the executive summary is the only aspect of the application where award creators, they can use that in press releases, magazine editorial, case studies. So make sure you keep it concise, non-technical and easy to understand. Just a few more points on your executive summary. Think about what your key strengths are and what differentiates you from your company from your competition. Now, you need to think outside of the square, because all the different businesses are answering these same questions. So you need to relate this to your business. So examples might be better price, a niche product, credibility, new technology, design or packaging, corporate responsibility, whatever it is about your business. Think the whole package. It's a good idea to write your summary last, because then you've got all the information in front of you as well. So you can go back and pick through all the information you need to write your summary. Question 2, as you can see, we have a 25% weighting on this question. So 2.1 is provide a brief history of when and how your company started. You've only got 100 words, so it's really not much at all. But judges love to hear about how you got started. So how your company's product or service got started. So really define your company's international competitive advantage there, and just think about your diversification and your achievements. Again, please don't use your technical language or your company terminology, because the judges, they just won't know what you're talking about, and it'll be a shame if they can't understand it. So it's really important to use layman terms and spell things out. Too many times I see an executive summary just full of acronyms and it's like, oh, we don't know what that means. So just make sure that you spell that out. 2.2, describe your product or service, what it does, and your international competitive advantage. So again, it's only 200 words here. What's a good stats are always good, because it's easy for people to compare. So if you can benchmark your company against your competitors, that works really well. Also, think about what industries you sell to, your unique advantage in the marketplace as well. And for those of you that have got a number of products, use dot point. It's really fine. In fact, it's a sure way to get you straight through to the judges, for them to understand of what to get a feeling of your product. It can sometimes help to explain where your product sits in the market as well. Is it one of a kind? Was it the first one sold in Australia? Fastest selling? Or is there something special about your product or service that your competitors lack? Okay, again, think outside of the square and don't underestimate what you're offering there. 2.3, summarise your international business success. So as mentioned, what you're doing here is in the last financial year. So think outside of the square for this one. It's pretty straightforward. I've put a list of things there that what you can list of your international successes. But think on a different scale for everybody. You might have some new staff, or you implemented some new training towards exporting as well. You might have a new or improved product. You don't have to have had $1 million spend by any stretch of the imagination. It's just about what you've done this year. What are your international business successes? Okay, maybe you got approved for a new regulation. It could be anything like that. Maybe you did some research and development and found a better solution. Okay, so there's lots of opportunities out there. 2.4. So as mentioned earlier, you can enter as many categories as you like, as long as you meet the criteria. So for each category you enter, you must complete a specific question for each category. For example, if you enter the agribusiness and creative industries, you'll need to complete 2.4.1 and 2.4.3. Okay, now these questions, they've got a 400-word limit each. Okay, this was introduced last year so that judges could really identify the strength of a business in each category, and you can differentiate your product and better explain why you deserve to win this category. It's really important that this question stands alone, so it's not something covered in the previous questions. 400 words, it's quite a bit, so it really allows you room for companies to really focus on their strategy. 3, as you can see, 40% weighting. So we need to spend a little bit of time on this one. So outline your international business strategy. It's only 200 words, so there's not a lot there. So you're just outlining your strategy. So it's talking about your business's approach to international expansion. So country selection, market entry, as well as your research and development, capacity building. Think about resourcing to support your international business technologies. Okay, how do you decide on which country you're going to expand or target? Who in the business makes the decision? What research did you do before entering? How did you ensure the sustainability of the market? Did you hire more staff with export experience? How many times did you visit the country? What was it that made you sure that this market would work for you? Okay, so outline your international business strategy. That's pretty straightforward. International marketing strategy, 3.2. Anybody that entered last year, you'll see that the questions have changed a little bit here, and this is where the change occurs. So outline your international marketing strategy and outcomes. So what you're doing here, a lot of people tend to dot point when answering this question. So think about the breakdown, your marketing strategy and outcomes. So does each market have a tailored marketing strategy? So, for example, if you're selling to China and the US, I'm guessing they're very different strategies on what you're doing there. How often is your plan reviewed or updated? And how did you build stronger relationships with your clients in this market? And then think about how did you implement your strategy? So think about basic communications here. So was it person-to-person marketing? Word of mouth, trade shows, that kind of thing, overseas trade missions. Maybe you're a member of an industry association that helped you. And don't forget traditional advertising like print, TV, radio, although many people now are onto online. So think about your print marketing, your business cards. Are these translated? Are your brochures translated? Do you have a direct email campaign or marketing collateral? Think about all your blogs, your email marketing techniques, your internet advertising, search engine optimization. Think along all of those areas. It's all important that you list them down, because if they're not listed, the judges just don't assume that you just don't do it. So again, dot point is good. And then think about the outcomes. You've got 500 words here, so you've got plenty of room. Did you have increased number of staff? Did you build stronger relationships? Maybe you ran a competition, and because of that, you've now got a much stronger database to use in the future. Did you increase the number of inquiries you received? So think about stats. Past winners, they've listed things like media attention they've gained, market share, actual sales linked to activities, hits on social media. That's a great one. You can do that quite easily. And again, please don't underestimate what your company has achieved. Okay, this is a numbers question, entering data here, so I can't do much, but just note that judges are really looking at the quality of your marketing strategy in conjunction with your level of export sales. So if you complete the annual total sales, both domestic and internationally there. It's pretty straightforward, and there's some notes on there as well. Same with 3.4. Again, it's another data entry, so there's not much I can help you with there, but you can select up to 9 different markets. And so you're listing your top 9 performing markets. On to question number 4, 4.1, human resources, 200 words, so that's not many. Here what you're doing is you're outlining your international sales force, so the structure of your business, both internationally and domestically. So what business or export training and professional development you have, or international recruitment strategy. So if you're exporting, you've got something in place. So your international sales force and structure, as I mentioned, global management, so how's it supervised? Think about technical staff, customer service, call center management, or maybe you don't have a big team like that. Maybe you just have one export manager in your company, and that's absolutely fine. It's just about outlining that so they can understand how you manage your exporting business. Does anybody in your team speak a different language? How do you encourage your staff to be involved in the business but also in exports? How often do your staff get to travel overseas to meet with customers, or the opportunity to work overseas? You've only got 200 words. You've got a lot of information you can fit in there as well. 4.2, again, risk management. Outline your risk management process used to monitor your international business performance. So here, judges are looking at the structure of your operation and if you are prepared for export expansion. So here you're describing the business process you have in place to mitigate risk for future development. Okay, so let's break this down, and everybody does that in this question. It's the easiest way to do it. So think about legal and IP risk. So what's that? What IP do you have in place? Are you governed or audited by any regulators? Do you employ or utilise a trade lawyer? Commercial risk. Think about your knowledge on international markets. Can your product adapt to a foreign market? What have you done to limit cross-cultural risks? That's a massive one. What about production? Maybe you have equipment that is continually upgraded to ensure that you're providing best produce that you can, or the best product that you can, and that your manufacturing meets standards that's recognised throughout the world. Or maybe you've appointed 2 providers to safeguard the production of your product as well. I'm sure that makes sense. Financial management. and waiting. Okay, 4.3. All right, so here the judges will be looking for evidence of a sound capital base. Okay, so a substantial net profit. And sufficient capital, so that can be cash or resources, to support your export activity. So make sure you double check the figures to ensure that there's no errors, okay, are entered. Also address how the business manages financial related risks, including foreign exchange and credit risk. So when you're thinking financial, does the company have in place a foreign exchange policy? Or do you employ the services of an international trade lawyer to ensure contracts are sound? Do you have credit insurance? Do you have marine insurance, export documentation, financial management, so letters of credit? What's your payment policy, really, for international payments? And what about cash flow management? So here, I'm not sure what the word count is. But again, dot point is absolutely fine. Okay, we're on to our last question. So again, those of you that have entered before, you can see it's much more streamlined now. International business planning and direction. So the judges here are looking for evidence of the company's commitment to international business. So what they're trying to find out is, are you still going to be here in the next 5 years? Are you still going to be exporting in the next 5 years? So what are your plans for the coming year? Think about new markets, additional staff, or different marketing strategies. Think about all the things you've got in place to assure that your product's going to be moving forward, adapting to the market, and mitigating risk as much as possible, exporting your product into the market. And any background about that is fantastic. I believe this is only 200 words. Yes, it is, only 200 words. Still, I know you think 10% weighting, but like I said before, every point is so really important. Okay, then you need to upload some images. It's really important that you upload quality images, and please don't leave this to the last minute. Provide a good variety. You can include product shots, branding, whatever it is you like to do. Further information will be on the site. Here's an example of some of the quality products that we've had uploaded, some of the quality shots. It's really important because if you win or place, then this is going to be used everywhere. This is what marketeers are going to look for. And if a newspaper is looking for some images and somebody's got a professional image over just one taken in the office, then guess who's going to get the story? So it makes a big difference. But if you have any questions, again, ring your representative. So here's the key dates. The applications will close on the following dates. So that includes the webinar for now. Like I said, if you have any questions, please contact your state representative. You can load, I'll give you a URL that you can load into your browser. ECA contacts for anybody in Queensland, New South Wales or WA. It's all available here. And how to apply. So that's loading that website into your browser, and that you can just click on the state map. So we wish you all the very best this year in 2018, and we really look forward to celebrating with you later in the year. Thank you and good luck from the Export Council team.